What's going on, y'all, and happy Monday. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And for those of you who celebrate Easter, I hope that you had a fantastic holiday. I hope that you fellowship with your family and your friends. Some of y'all may have went to church, and some of y'all may have gotten up in that kitchen and cooked some good food. Me, I'm just recovering because your boy ate too much. I got up and went on a run this morning. I was running and pooting at the same time, y'all. No lies. But anyway, let's go ahead and get down to business and talk about this issue that's going down with Shannon Sharpe. So Tony Busby filed a lawsuit on the behalf of a woman who claims that Shannon Sharpe essayed her amongst a lot of other things, right? So let me take the time to read to you all what Tony Busby posted. So it says here, late last night, the Busby law firm filed a civil lawsuit on behalf of a brave young woman who alleges she was brutally essayed by former NFL player Shannon Sharpe on multiple occasions, the last incident occurring in January 2025. The lawsuit, filed under the pseudonym Jane Doe, lays out a pattern of intimidation, manipulation, and including allegations that Sharpe repeatedly threatened to Jane Doe. The case seeks $50 million in damages. The case is on file in Department 11, Clark County State Court, Nevada, the county where the alleged conduct occurred. The egregious and concerning facts of the case are set forth in detail in the public filing. I'm extremely proud to represent Jane Doe. It takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court. Now, the actual civil suit that's filed against Shannon Sharpe is actually 13 pages, and it really goes off into some deep, dark stuff. Now, there's a portion in the civil lawsuit that talks about the fact how Shannon is very demanding, very aggressive, and just, downright controlling. And it made me think about when he went off on his production manager, Ashley.
Guys, do us a favor. Make sure you subscribe to the Nightcap podcast feed wherever you get your podcast from. And remember, every podcast subscriber, it's playing back in my ear, guys. It's playing back in my ear. So I can't read while that's playing in my ear. I'm sorry, guys. Guys, we're sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know if it's me or if it's on the other end, but I promise you that won't happen again. Guys, please make sure you do us a favor. Go check out Shay by LaPortier. If Shay is not in the state or city near you, you can order it and it guys, what is Ash?
Now, I know that these are two separate and extremely different situations, and I'm not here to convict Shannon in the court of public opinion. However, I will say if you can't control your temper live on air over a technicality issue to the point where you just had to sound off on your team right then and there, opposed to just waiting till the show was over to address the technicality issue, it just lets me know that the portion of the lawsuit that claims that Shannon is very aggressive in nature and very demanding, it could be true, but the question is to what extent. And listen, Shannon has a right to due process, but let me just read you some of the things that are within this lawsuit where Jane Doe is claiming to have experienced during her time with Shannon Sharpe. So it says here, the complaint alleges that Shannon recorded their SEX activities, something without her knowledge, and that he was sharing the videos without her permission or knowledge. The complaint contends that it was another woman, not the plaintiff, with whom Shannon was having SEX when he accidentally live streamed the encounter on Instagram. That was, per the complaint, the moment at which the plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. The complaint claims that he relentlessly pursued her after she stopped answering her phone or sharing her whereabouts. The complaint contends that Sharpe confronted the plaintiff in October of 2024 after she had commenced efforts to separate from him. The complaint details the ensuing encounter, which culminated in allegedly forcible SEX against her consent. Another alleged incident happened in January of 2025. The complaint alleges that Sharpe engaged in unprotected SEX with the plaintiff despite her efforts to get him to either stop or to wear protection. From the first page of the complaint, a woman can say yes to consensual SEX relations with the man 99 times, but when she says no even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to put pause on her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and AR'd plaintiff despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. The complaint seeks a minimum of $50 million from Sharpe. If when there's a trial, the recovery, if any, will be determined by a jury. based on the evidence and the law. The number can, in theory, be anything. Now, she goes on to say that she met Sharpe in 2023 at a gym in Los Angeles, and she was just 20 years old, and Shannon was in his mid-50s or whatever. And she went on to say that Shannon offered to buy her a fake chest, and I'm paraphrasing there, if she won a weight loss competition with him. Then she goes on to say that Shannon started to pursue her relentlessly, and the two of them started texting, and he started demanding that she came by his mansion. And so everything started off cool and everything was consensual in the beginning, but then all of a sudden she says that the relationship became controlling and verbally abusive. And so that's when the red flags started to go up for her. And then she described the situation where they got into an argument, and basically he yelled at her while a pew-pew was visible in the room. And then she says she tried sharing her location with her friends from her iPhone, but Shannon caught on to what she was doing, and basically Shannon yoked her up and put paws around her NECK and said, basically, if you ever do that again, I will effing delete you. So this is some pretty heavy stuff right here. Now, it is important to know that there's word out there that Shannon is on the brink of getting a major podcasting deal. We're talking about over $100 million here. So I just wanted to throw that in. But again, it's two sides to every story. Shannon has not spoke out yet up until this point of me doing this video, but I would like to hear what he has to say. If he says anything, he might be instructed by his lawyers to keep quiet about the whole damn thing. So in closing, I just want to sum everything up. So it seems as though that this lady is not Michelle, the Michelle that was in the video or the sound recording where we heard Shannon and a woman actually getting down to business, right? So this is not Michelle, but it's pretty clear and damn evident that that video of Michelle and Shannon actually getting it on actually prompted this woman to say, hey, I want to sever all ties with you. It's over. And Shannon couldn't take rejection. Now, I don't know if this woman took the offer from Shannon to get her chest done, but if she did, this is the reason why you don't let anybody do things like that for you. And listen, I'm just speaking from the premise if she did accept that offer from him, because sometimes when people do things like that for you, especially when it costs thousands upon thousands of dollars, they feel like they own you from that point. And let's be real, sometimes someone doesn't even have to do anything for you and they think they own you too. So listen, in my estimation, Tony Busby is a very questionable lawyer here, but hey, just because the situation wasn't true dealing with other celebrities and things like that doesn't mean that this is not true. This could very well be something that happened to this woman. But I want to say this though, listen, it's not above the realm of possibility. I said before that I believe that Shannon is a little bit of a hothead. I've seen him go off, and I showed you a video of him going off on Ash, his production team. He's also went off on his buddy Ocho on Nightcap. And even though some things that Shannon do say be justified, at the end of the day, that conversation isn't for everybody to hear. You have those conversations behind the scene, because honestly speaking, sometimes the way he be talking to Ocho, it sounds as though he think he owns Ocho, and that's a whole grown man over there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the reason why he talks to Ocho like he does is based off of the fact that he helped put Ocho in position, right? As far as being on his show Nightcap and getting gigs at ESPN and things of that nature. So sometimes when people do things for you, they feel like they own you. And listen, I know that that's a different situation, but I'm just trying to highlight the characteristics that Shannon seemed to possess. You know what I'm saying? That could be applicable to some of the things that were mentioned in that lawsuit. But anyway, again, Shannon has the right to due process, does not mean that he's guilty at all. But we'll just have to wait to see how this thing plays out. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole entire situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Yep.